brand new episode of Formula Pod. Today we're talking all about the Austrian Grand Prix through the hills of Spielberg in Austria. And if you ask us how the race is, I don't even know how to kind of say that. But Mihir, you've got something?
Uh, I think it was pretty exciting. I think with the heat wave, there was a lot more complications that drivers had to see.
Mm-hmm.
Brakes were tested, suspensions were tested to its limit, and with the heat wave in Europe, I think it was a challenging day for not just the drivers but also the team members because being in that pit lane, it's ridiculously hot. So I think everything just got to them. But we'll
Mm-hmm.
talk more about it within the episode.
Yeah,
But that's the gist of it.
like Austria, the Austrian Grand Prix was the first heat hazard event by FIA. Like it was the first. Again, we thought the first heat hazard would be say somewhere down Singapore or something, where it's not the heat from the sun. It's actually from the humidity. People, it's going hot. But
Yeah.
this just came in a lot earlier than expected. And at the same time, we have got teams with upgrades. Cadillac came up with upgrades. Red Bull came up with an insane upgrade. Ferrari
Yeah.
came up with a engine upgrade from the ADUO, as in from the ADUO rights, which they got. So the first out of the two kind of came in effect. Mercedes, I wasn't sure if there was an update per se, but like yeah, so much pressure was there. That's in Barcelona we saw how like the Barcelona track is very different compared to what this was. Again, was it hard? It was, but then not this level heat. And
Yeah.
plus, Red Bull Ring is a bit more challenging because it is nearly 700 meters above sea level.
Sea level.
So naturally, thinner air, and the thinner air, it is thinner hot air. Even when you go for a combat, it just kills your powertrains. Like if you look at it, say Cadillac bought an upgrades and Cadillac both the cars had to retire. Because all this while we did see, okay, at least Sergio would finish the race, but that just didn't happen. Like both the Cadillacs went off. You had the Williams of Carlos Sainz on the straight, just all of a sudden loss of power, and then there was oil leaking out of the car, which is
Yeah.
which is very weird, and it's not something which is so normal in Formula One, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's anything could. You know what? I go with by this rule that anything can happen in Formula One in regards to engines, manufacturing, whatever it is. But obviously, this is something that is very rare to see, which is a leakage, especially in this hot weather. You know that liquid can catch on fire quite
Exactly. But
easily.
what surprised me was, despite doing that, these guys didn't call in a safety car. They
They
should
did.
have
They
called in
did.
a
They
safety.
called the
They,
virtual safety car.
yeah, like they should have rather done like a proper safety car and neutralized it.
Yeah.
Like if you look at it, because it's so I was just reading it right now. On Sunday, the air temperature at Red Bull Ring was 34.5, while the track temperature was 46.8 degrees Celsius.
Jeez.
Like and again, we living in the hotter part of the
World
world, uh 46.8 is actually ridiculous heat.
heat. Yeah.
Like for because I think for us at the moment, like in Dubai, at the moment we touched 40, but we haven't crossed above 40. We've touched 40 degrees Celsius, but not yet. But 46.8, like we're talking like just what 3.2 degrees away from 50. That's like that would have gone insane, to be very
Yeah.
honest, if you look
Now
at it.
now they put in that perspective. It's dangerously hard. Even for drivers, I feel like wearing all those wearing all those racing suits with all those
Mhm.
insulators. and also the engine in the back. I can only imagine how much weight they lost after the race. Um,
No, but they had to put through all those what do you call the cooling vests, which
uh-huh.
had to pump all those cool fluid. And
Fluid,
then
yeah.
there are drivers who say that, oh, you know what, we won't put that during the race because it's so uncomfortable.
How, yeah.
And that
I
just
feel like it
defeats
was
the whole purpose.
in my perspective. I think they should have, just in terms of safety, because driving in that heat is not a joke.
True that, true that.
Um, yeah. See, I don't think you should compromise with safety, especially with such temperature and such speed. That's one way ticket to you getting absolutely injured or even not race again, in my
Yeah,
perspective.
in fact, the heat actually affected the marshals on track because one of the marshals suffered a heart emergency during the Austrian Grand Prix and had to be airlifted, according to FIA. Uh, and that's
Arjun, do you
insane.
think Arjun, do you think that the race should have been moved?
As in, they should have at least, if there was at least some hope that okay, the temperature would dip a bit, they should have waited that. But yeah, with the part about moving, again, I'm not sure because this is at the end of the day, the entire European continent is going through a heat wave. Even we don't know
Exactly.
what is going to be the situation in Silverstone this coming week.
Yeah.
But based on what I hear, I don't know. Like it is hot, right, in the UK.
It's come down now by
Okay,
a drastic. Like, it's come down by at least, I would say, by at least 9 degrees, which is
okay, that's
good. Which
nice.
is good. I mean, which is good. I mean, I haven't gone to the office because I'm a bit sick today. But last week, I was in the central line and it was 37 degrees in the tube, with
Whoa,
with no AC, with no ventilation, and I
dang,
was,
that's hot.
yeah, that's it's not a good way to live. But there's another
I
one.
feel
Apparently, there's another one coming up next week. Like next, well,
okay.
yeah, next week. So hopefully Silverstone won't be as hot as it should be. But yeah,
Yeah, but
hopefully,
I just read for Silverstone there is it is going to have the highest record of fans attending the Grand Prix. The number is anticipated at 565,000 spectators. Okay.
jeez,
And this record, again, 565, is a new record. And previously, this record was held by the Austrian Grand Prix in Adelaide. When it was not in Melbourne, when it was in Adelaide.
LA, damn.
So yeah, and as in Sunday alone, they have sold about 175,000 tickets. So we don't know in terms of what's happening. I heard from someone in the UK that going to Silverstone is actually like people go and camp there just because they don't want to wait in the road and kind of go back home because it's going to take endless number of hours to get
Yeah,
back.
you know what? Camping overnight here is something that people do. Even for the Swatch Royal Pop, like people were
Mhm.
camping like a week before. So camping is not
Okay.
something very unorthodox, like for this country. Like it's very okay for you to do that as long as the safety is there. But it's
Mhm.
fine.
And
Um,
I think this year with Silverstone we've got like a Lando Norris specific stand as well, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
I think that's a
interesting.
great thing. I mean, I feel that's a great thing because I mean, a lot of people I know now are following Lando Norris as not just a individual driver, but also a people they look up to because he's so young and people think that and people can relate to him and his jokes and the way he is as a person and even his book. I mean, I've read maybe a few pages of his book and uh, honestly, it's quite outstanding how he came up, how he grew up in Surrey, how he was. always leaning towards racing as a child, but obviously, um, he had some limitations. Oh, you guys should absolutely read the book, or just have an audiobook ready on Spotify.
What's
It's
the
so
book
good.
called?
Um, it's called Lando Norris, and I don't know what the book is. I mean, I read it a while ago because I'm a Lewis fan. I have all his books. It was in the F1 section. I saw Lando Norris's face, and I read a few pages, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, this is pretty cool.
Lando Norris Road to World Champion
That's the one. Is it orange with
by
like black?
yeah, it's like Lando Norris. The cover is Lando Norris holding the cup, as in
Yeah, that's the
uh
one.
yeah. So by Nate Saunders. Yeah. But there's also
Yeah.
another book called just Lando Norris, a biography by Ben Hutt.
No.
Again,
It's the first one of the cup. That's what I saw in WH Smith.
okay.
But
Yeah, so apparently I just looked for at Silverstone, you can only get a sky deck or a hospitality pass.
which is how much?
Okay, that's I'm very curious in terms of what's this going to cost. So if you want to get a sky deck, we're talking £459.
What? Jeez. Okay, and then I'm even worried to ask the next one, but later on me.
So £459 for people for listeners in the UAE. You're talking that's 2,225 dirhams. And general admission is £50. And then there's something called as the Ignition Club, which is the hospitality. That's for £655. And
Wow.
£655 is 3,178 dirhams.
Does that come with a pickup and drop service or?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like, wow,
Jeez.
this is expensive.
Yeah,
But then
no.
if you want the Moe Shando Club, as in that's hospitality by the official champagne suppliers of Formula One, that's
Yeah,
£880.
they better
And
be.
you can
They better give some free champagne. Like I hope so.
and funnily, that's for Friday. For Sunday, we are talking £3,670.
Blind for one person.
Yeah,
Oh, blind.
hospitality. £3,670 in UAE dirhams is 17,794 dirhams.
Damn, that's someone's salary, bro.
Man, this is insane.
Wow. I mean, I would love to be
Wow.
this person one day.
Yeah, and then Silverstone actually is opening up their own what do you call their own private and exclusive Grand Prix experience, hospitality.
Okay. Okay.
That is expensive than the Moe and Chandon Club. This is called the Val, and
Mm-hmm.
it basically comes with what do you call a trackside location overlooking the entry to the pit lane. You get like meet and greet with F1 drivers, team principals. So in that, Zach Brown is expected to come up, and some random DJ, and you can expect Michelin star menus, which Michelin star creations from three-time Michelin star winner Johnny Lake.
Oh
This
wow.
comes at a cost of £6,390 for Sunday alone. And
I
if I look at
I'm I don't know what to say. It's Formula One, man. You.
man,
I'm not even surprised.
dude, this is expensive than the most expensive hospitality suite available for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Realize this.
Yeah, but then you need to understand, like, this is London. Like, it is what it is, man. Like, you just gotta live with that prices.
Man, this is insane. 30,000 dirhams? Like nearly 31,000 dirhams.
That's the
That's
price for that's the price of a Yaris in Dubai.
no, like that's a used Yaris. Like if I look it from my salary perspective, that's approx of 3 months of my salary.
Oh, wow, you just disclosed your salary on these podcasts,
No.
Arjun. Why
Again,
would you do that?
I just said approx. I didn't say the exact figure.
Yeah, but then people are just smart, man. Cut this
Again,
part out, please.
if they're smart, let me. Anyways, let's come back to racing in
Yes.
Austria. Again, I feel like we should have spoken this towards the end, but then we rather brought it up front. But like, yeah,
No, fair enough.
what exactly happened to Ferrari? A weekend, like they come up really strong, and then we see during quali, Lewis and Charles get provisional pole, and then George Russell, sorry, thanks to Max Verstappen, George Russell lifted, and despite after lifting, he ended up getting pole position, which is a whole different story to talk about. But then during the race, every driver after the race is told that Ferrari didn't look like what it was in Barcelona.
Yeah.
They come up with engine updates. These were not something, what do you call, something small. This was massive. As in, this was told to be like they will cover the deficit with Ferrari by what? Uh,
By
5 to
margin.
10
Yeah.
horsepowers?
Which is by the way, to all the listeners, in Formula One, having that difference is huge. It's huge. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I did read somewhere though in terms of how Ferrari's car was. So Ferrari had the best downforce, okay, but it lacked top speed. With McLaren, the problem was highest minimum speed, but it lacks efficiency. And Mercedes was fast everywhere. Red Bull was having the best top speed, as in the final straight, as in the main straight from towards turn one. That was powerful for Red Bull versus all the microsectors in between the turns or the corners. Ferrari aced that. But yeah, they were still slow in the straights, which is a bit
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, because I mean they were dominating at one point, and I was very honestly I was quite happy with the performance for the past few races. But do you think Ferrari was having this time where they were like, no, everything will go fine, don't worry. All these races went perfectly fine. Do you think this was important for
You
them to
know,
understand, like, yeah?
funnily, I saw this meme which said, when Lewis said, "Remember who you are," which is what is going on. Ferrari just remembered who they were and
Mhm.
messed up strategy. Because if you see in that one virtual safety car, Hamilton was called into pits and he was given softs. The
Yeah.
entire grid was on mediums or hards. Why this guy was given softs and he couldn't deliver like anything with that car. He was at a podium position, wristed off. He recovered some way, but then nothing worked. And he was the first car to pit.
Yeah.
Again, I realize undercut, whatever you want to do, go for it. But did it pay off? No. I feel
It's a
like
very
they remembered who they were and they just messed up strategy in the most finest way possible when already the car was challenged with such tough conditions,
yeah.
and you had like what, the tires not working to their advantage. Let's talk about Red Bull though. We
Yes, yes,
some
yes, yes.
the team which we never talk about, but they came up with an insane upgrade package and they had the pressure in terms of what they will deliver at Austria. As in, this was basically their time, and Lauren McKee's leadership will be in question in front of all the stakeholders if they didn't deliver, and they clearly delivered.
Yeah. Very
Like,
actually, and can I just say something? They delivered
yeah.
very well because they were fighting back. They were fighting back all the corners, all the straights. Pretty phenomenal, actually. And obviously,
And
we have seen what. Sorry, Arjun. The
yeah.
fact that we have seen how Ferrari was performing, and if they have come and commented, "Oh, what's been happening to Ferrari," that kind of goes to show they've really got their hands on.
Mhm.
I'm proud of them. Honestly, if I was a team principal, I'll be like, okay, I'm taking a 2-day trip now.
No, because Max was closing on like pretty quickly,
Hmm.
and he ended the race with just 1.6 seconds away. Like him and Kimi were like, what do you call, in just I think 300ths of a second difference between both of them, and they were like, it was like till the last lap we were like, what would happen either side, like whether he would go, whether this would, but Max had that car so under control
Yeah.
and got it all out. It's like you felt like I felt like it was like Max Verstappen properly finally communicating with the car, and he just got it all out.
I feel like Max, he was trying to learn the car, but also like hurry. Like, I'm trying to get the right words out of my mouth, but essentially what I mean is he was in a hurry to understand the car, but he didn't understand the whole like be patient part. I think he was being pretty. Yeah, that's the word. He's being impatient, not understanding the
Mhm.
car, not understanding the new rules and regulations and the design of the car. I think that's what made a huge difference. But now that obviously it's the seventh month of this year, and I think now he was like, you know what, 7 months, good enough time to understand the car, and I think it's doing pretty well. If he was a bit more patient, maybe he would have done it in like 5 months. But it's better now than never. So I guess you might see Red Bull doing a lot better than all the other teams. You never know. Maybe Ferrari is gonna get back their spark and just see where things go.
Yeah, so apparently I just got the list of what Red Bull bought in as upgrades. So
Okay.
Red Bull's upgrades included the floor, rear suspension, rear corner, rear wing, and exhaust. Additionally, profile changes to the floorboard has also been carried out to improve flow conditioning performance.
Okay.
And they have also made adjustments to side pod inlets and engine cover in order to improve reliability, while a number of changes were aimed at just boosting performance in local load.
Arjun, I have a question.
Ye- Yeah,
How many upgrades can you do mentally? I'm saying how many upgrades can you do physically on a car in a season?
again, if you're talking about major upgrades, say three, four of them,
What's considered as a major upgrade?
as in say for example, side pods update or wing updates,
Okay.
or something to do say, as in wing, mainly say the rear wing. I'm talking about rear wing,
Yeah,
like
of
that's
course.
something performance, but if there is some, how do you I think yeah, mainly that one. I don't think there's anything more which can be considered change per se.
Okay.
Why do you ask
And what
that
is
though?
considered as the reason why is because obviously it's for my knowledge as well, because I've always been confused in what they classify as a major change and a minor change. What is minor change to you then? Minor change would be like
Minor change would be
strat
like,
one, strat two.
yeah, and probably just like performance updates, as in
Okay.
track specific updates. Those are minor changes. What
Okay.
That's what FIA calls that. There's the performance updates and the track specific updates. So anything track specific is minor updates.
I just to ask that question because obviously I was a bit confused and who to ask then the guru.
But yeah, but normally, yes, we've got what, 3 to 5 major upgrade packages which come up in a season. But FIA hasn't put a strict limit to this.
Okay.
But again,
Interesting.
all these upgrades must just come within the cost cap. That is the only
Can you
what do you
exceed
call it?
it? Can you exceed it or can you not exceed it?
It should not exceed the cost cap.
Okay. Okay.
It should not exceed the cost cap. It shouldn't exceed the power unit limitations and shouldn't exceed whatever testing time they've got with wind tunnel and CFT.
Okay.
All of
Interesting.
these. So yeah, like they came. So with Red Bull, again, brilliant result from them. And even as a matter of fact, Isaac Haja was also fighting pretty well. Like he finished, car number 6 actually finished in the 6th position. Again, got his 8 points. I think this Red Bull pairing is good for the team, I feel, because Isaac is kind of giving like that sort of, what do you call, close calls to
Energy.
all the other teams, and
Yeah.
it's not that Max Verstappen alone is lifting all the weights. Eh,
For
Like
once.
for once, exactly. Like in a very long time. In fact, Max Verstappen and Isaac Hadjar are seventh and eighth in the driver standings. Max with
Oh wow.
43 points and Hadjar with 42 points. So there is like a 29-point gap between both of them. But still, again, if we look, I think if you're looking like that, Kimi and George, the gap is 40 points. Lewis and Charles, we're talking about what? 40 points.
Mm-hmm.
Lando and Oscar is 1 point difference. Isaac Hadjar and Isaac Hadjar and Max Verstappen 29. Pierre and Franco is say probably say 37 points. Yeah, so it's not that bad. Like they are still there. Like all for all teams between their teammates, that 40-point gap is kind of maintained, which is fair. That means both are operating in a very comfortable window.
Systematic manner.
Yeah, like it's pretty good, and I feel like Isaac, with that young energy, is doing whatever he can because if you look at it, he was fighting Liam Lawson very aggressively,
Mm-hmm.
and even like when Lewis was doing his overtakes, also he didn't make it any easy on him. He still gave the fight and was like, "Okay, I'm here to kind of fight it all out," and he still gave it up, which again, hat tip to him in terms of putting that car in that kind of operating window. But let's actually move from the guys from the top to the
Bottom tier.
midfield.
Oh,
The
okay. And the midfield.
the midfield. Racing Bulls. Both the cars finished on points. 3 points they both of them got. Lawson finishing ninth and Lindblad finishing 10th. Finished one lap later, but I feel I'm kind of having this thought that these guys may be the new what do you call the new kings of midfield.
You
What do
know
you
what?
think?
I wouldn't. Okay, so in this situation, obviously, I would say it's too early to say. But I think after 7 races, I think they're quite comfortable playing in midfield. It's better than say staying in the bottom field. So I guess
Hmm.
that plays well for them. Other than that, with obviously everyone's getting used to their cars now, right? Everyone's getting used to the whole
Hmm.
regulations and everything. So I think now I'm expecting the mid tier to at least go mid high for maybe a few of those mid drivers to come podium, if not. So let's see. I mean, I feel like it's something that we shouldn't overlook because
Yeah.
these drivers are pushing really hard and even maintaining a, consistent having a consistent midfield position is also holding a position not for the investors but also to showcase that there are rooms for improvement. Sorry, this but
That's
also
fine.
because um, but also I feel like I'm expecting the midfielders to have a podium, or if not podium, then top four or top five the next
No,
couple of
like
races.
if you look at it, like say again, I forgot this totally that there was a team called Alpine that existed. Uh, Alpine actually is fifth on the constructors at 57 points with Racing Bulls at 44 points. Okay, so not that big of a difference. Different teams, different power units. But with Alpine, yes, Pierre Gasly is the constant that is kind of scoring points compared to Franco. But Franco did have his ups in between as well. But I feel like again now I completely get it. It's more like we got to give it time and kind of see how that midfield is working its way. Because clearly, I would say Haas, like I don't even know what to kind of tell about them. Like where are they? They're seventh and they are very solid at seventh
Hmm.
because Williams is not scoring as expected. Audi is kind of being that 11-12, 11-12 sort of a situation. Aston Martin then God knows what's happening. And
Uh,
Cadillac, okay, we'll come to it.
do you want to talk about Cadillac right
Sure,
now?
they came up
Yeah.
with
Okay.
some upgrades. Okay. As in,
Okay.
not that big of an upgrade, but they came up with some upgrades. And the upgrades just miserably failed on their face in terms of, like, I don't even know kind of how to kind of say that. Like, it just blew on their face in terms of the upgrades. Both Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas were forced to retire due to severe brake overheating and failure.
Yeah.
Which again, some drivers did complain about it being the brakes being hot. And I feel like again, if they, despite bringing that sort of updates, they should have actually just checked in terms of whether the car would be in that right operating window in order to make use of those upgrades. Because this is, I feel like in the first couple of laps they ended up quitting because it's just that brake temperatures were too hot. And in fact, I don't know if you noticed, Liam Lawson said his brakes were on fire and he
Yeah.
still
I
finished the race, which was a bit of a surprise to me, to be very honest.
to be. You know what? I feel like these cars are designed to handle that kind of heat. So even if you saw a little bit of fire, obviously that's a big red flag. But in terms of like it would cool down, like that's how because okay, I'm a car enthusiast, right? So
Yeah.
Bugatti, it when Bugatti starts testing its brakes, it starts testing brakes from their top speed and then hard brakes on it to see how the aluminium and the all the metals and chemicals and the use how they go hand to hand together to produce something that's substantially Bugatti quality. And I think at that point, obviously, when you're driving, you see fire and you're like, oh my god, like that's fire. But in my, if I was, I would trust the quality that Red Bull manufactures its brakes. So a little bit of heat wouldn't really. I may be talking absolute nonsense, but I'm just saying a little bit of fire can be expected only because of the weather conditions. I'm I was expecting that. You know what? Before even the race started, I knew for a fact that there will be some type of engine failure or overheating. Looking at how the weather is,
Hmm.
I was expecting fire on the tires, 100%. Brakes, no
Hmm.
doubt.
Hmm.
But I would also think that there has to be precautionary steps for obviously the team principal and the team back end, letting them know if it's safe to drive or not. If it
Hmm.
was that big of a deal, I'm pretty sure they would pull the plug way before for the car.
Yeah, because I feel like with Bottas, actually his brakes went on fire and the team had to extinguish it as he pitted.
Yeah.
With Sergio, he had like an ECU or ECU change, but then it just didn't perform to its limit, to be very honest. And in
Mm-hmm.
fact, they bought 10 upgrades. And these
Jeez.
10 upgrades were basically more focused on bodywork, floor, diffuser, and rear wing. And and also they are trying to introduce the updated Ferrari PU in Silverstone or Spa. As in Ferrari updated its power unit, right? So
Yeah.
customer teams also get the updated power unit.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know if Haas put that and performed with that, but yeah, apparently it's going to come for Cadillac only in the next race.
Race. Hmm.
And I don't know who else to talk. McLaren, there wasn't something which is noteworthy about McLaren. Again, they fought. Oscar was like I would say very confident with the car. The car is now back to its original livery instead of the 1000 Grand Prix livery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as in it did what it can do. That car performed its best, and it kind of finished where we're talking about. It was not. It was right outside the podium, but not on the podium.
What do you?
Like Oscar finished fourth, and Lando finished seventh. So in a way, like yeah, it is like Oscar kind of took up the lead position compared to Lando. But again, this only splits them by a point.
See, a
But yeah,
point makes a huge difference. I feel like
through
one
that.
point can, yeah. So bad
But
difference.
at least one good thing for the Mercedes fans is all Mercedes drivers have won the Grand Prix this year. If you consider Lewis also as a Mercedes fan, Mercedes driver, all Mercedes drivers won a race this year. And there is also this kind of myth that is going on. Whoever wins the Austrian Grand Prix will not become the world champion.
Why is that?
I saw this myth which was going around on Instagram, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm.
I did kind of investigate further in terms of why people say that.
That's
Like
this
I
very
didn't investigate.
strange thing. It's a very
But it's pretty
strange,
strange. Yeah,
specific thing to say.
yeah. Like I don't know like why people kind of said that, but it's something I did see this a couple of times. I didn't read the reasoning behind it, which again that's on me because I normally kind of sit and dig deep. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, I don't know why did I even read the thing about that, to be very honest.
You should have.
Uh,
That was a very interesting thing to say.
no, like again because I normally come up with all these stats and I'm like, what just happened all of a sudden? But yeah, if you're looking if you're looking like that, if say in terms of say how to be very honest, for George this is his second race win,
Hmm.
and the fight is on in terms of who kind of becomes the world champion. We're just it's 7 races in. Once we go for the holiday season, I think then we can kind of say into kind of dive deep in terms of what
Who is where?
exactly
Yeah.
is happening and who is where. And naturally, we know all Lewis fans know cute second half of the season he lights up. So let's
He's
see.
been lit up for, I mean, not lit up, but he's been in his prime for since the big, no, I wouldn't say beginning, but like mid beginning. And I think obviously every race can't be perfect, Arjun. I feel like one, two
No, no, of
races he
course.
will have to humble himself down by the team, and then he'll
You
come
know,
back.
some people, some guys are like, oh, you know what? We forget Austria. Austria never happened.
No,
We focus Silverstone now
no.
because
Austria will be very important.
Silverstone, we know that is the track where even though with the old Ferrari he finished P4, was trying to
Yeah.
fight for P3 but couldn't fight that. Now that he's won at least one and he's got a pretty good car, I'm hopeful that there is something which can come up for him at Silverstone. But yeah, again, what can we expect from the Silverstone Grand Prix here?
Well, it's Lewis's hometown, so I'm expecting a lot of things from Lewis to come by.
At the same time, we have also got Lando Norris, George Russell, Ollie Behrman, and Arvid Lindblad. First
Yeah,
time we are
no,
having 5 British drivers competing for the British
which
Grand
is
Prix.
I know, but like I always like Silverstone was always Lewis's like home ground,
Yeah.
like in my head, it's always been like that. So um, let's see. I mean, what else do I expect as race wise? I feel like race wise, Red Bull is gonna do phenomenally well from what I've seen.
In fact, they will pretty much go come up with a fight, though. I'm very certain
Yeah, for
about it.
100%, 100%. Also, feel like Ferrari is gonna pull a big. It is Lewis's home ground, and I
They
feel
better
like
don't.
yeah, I mean, because Ferrari did really well in Italy, right? And they're in Ferrari's home ground, and I feel like they should really not mess up.
We haven't had an Italian race.
No, not Italian. My
Spanish.
yeah, yeah. I'm just completely out of it today. But
No worries.
yeah, no. So that's what it is, and I feel like it's every time someone says Silverstone, I just imagine Mercedes is winning every race, every single race there. But looking how Mercedes was this race, maybe I'm expecting a podium, but not a first from Mercedes. But again, it's racing. Formula One racing is not only about strategy; it's also about luck. So we'll have to just see the race and just make a judgment on that.
Yeah, we gotta see in terms of what's coming up. It's a 5.891 kilometer track. Currently, lap record is held by Max Verstappen, 1:27.097, which he set in 2020.
Okay.
Most wins is
Oh,
Lewis Hamilton, so if he wins, will continue to win, but it'll be his 10th win in Silverstone if he wins this. Um,
uh,
pole
hope he
run to turn
does.
one would be is 239 meters. Safety car probability
Uh-huh.
is 88%, and virtual safety car is at 13%. So let's kind of see how this is going to go. I'm now curious in terms of what is the track layout going to be, especially now that we get probably closer to race. What is the straight mode and what is overtake situation and all those.
Yeah,
So we gotta see. It's pretty interesting.
it's gonna
Uh,
be a good race. It's 100% gonna be a good race.
yeah, like again, Sylvester never puts us through the disappointment. That's for certain.
Yeah, too early
So
to say anything, but yeah, fair enough.
yeah, I just hope my only kind of hope is that let this be that one race where all cars finish. This race hasn't seen all 22 cars finishing a Grand Prix.
Hmm.
No one
Interesting.
going to again. We know we're kind of thinking above and beyond because the nerve damage is expected for that Aston Martin.
Yeah.
But again, now the good part is that their racing HQ is just probably what 5-10 minutes away from Silverstone track.
Yeah. So they can't.
So 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 in case if they want to swap paths, they are
they
logistically the easiest to reach.
fair. No excuses this time.
No excuses, of course. They can't be like, oh, part isn't arrived. Like they better do. At least let Alonso have one good race. But yeah, anything to add on though. Oh wait,
No.
uh, I want to add one final bit though.
Yes.
Kudos to the cameraman at Austria. Those drone shots of
Yeah.
following.
I was gonna bring that up as a conversation, but we were towards the end. But you know what? What were those kind of shots? Like I was in my head, I was like, damn, like this guy Formula One's
Like
really getting
very
into drones and
close
stuff.
chase. Like it's like
Yeah.
we spoke about Canada where the DOP, as in the director of photography, did a shitty job. This
Yeah.
was mega. Like you actually could feel in terms of as that drone shot slides through and does the follow. Beautiful.
I
And
feel
also,
like
look on.
sorry, I just gotta bring it up. I feel like drones are the new way of camera, like live streaming, because I feel like even in cricket, even in football, um,
Hmm.
drones can only give you a certain. Drones can give you so many different angles that we aren't exposed to yet. Like
Hmm.
I use drones on my work, and it brings such a big difference with just using a camera. It's phenomenal. And I think drones are um, the next level of entertainment providing to all in terms of sports, in terms of whatever it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were saying something, Arjun.
Uh, there is a good part and a bad part. The good part was the drone. The bad part was there was this one cameraman who was actually standing behind a guy,
Mm,
and all his shots had this guy's cap, and it's all pan shots, as in it's going from left to right. Sorry,
mm.
from right to left, and from right there is this guy's cap.
Okay.
I'm like, either increase the height of that camera and pitch it low,
Or get him away from the
or
frame.
just get him off the frame. Like, dude, And
Fair
this
enough.
is the Red Bull ring we're talking about.
Hmm.
They go through every lengths of or in terms of doing all extreme stunts, okay,
Yeah.
with the extreme camera work. If they could do that with the drone, why couldn't they do it just for that static camera just to move from left to right?
Fair enough. That's a very good shout. That's the least they
Like
could do
that's
when
the
you pay
least
that
they could
much.
do.
No,
Like
fair enough.
I'm pretty sure they can at least keep that viewing space or that field of view for that camera cleared off. Or just kind of make people sit around that, but not on that field of view. Very,
Hmm.
very, very weird. I think that was like the only downside which I saw with this race. But rest all like, yeah, really interesting battle between Lewis and Max. Again,
Max.
as always, brilliant, absolute cinema.
Yeah,
Um,
that when that happened, I was like, damn, like this is good. This is good. This is good sport watching. It's back to whatever they were doing before all the upgrades.
true that. But every like the camera work, one yay, another one, hey, what the hell? But like, yeah, I think that's pretty much it from our side. I think now it's pretty much after the British Grand Prix, we'll have a lot to talk about
Yeah,
what's going on because again, British Grand Prix. Like before we kind of wrap up here, does British Grand Prix, as in just the Silverstone track, actually test the car to its limits in terms of cornering performance and stuff?
oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like with the weather conditions being, well, you know what, this year I can't really say anything because usually UK weather is pleasant, right? So we don't have the weather as a variable of really
Hmm.
understanding the outcomes of everything. But in this case, whether the weather may be as, I won't say as bad as Barcelona, but maybe just touching point Barcelona. So I guess
Okay.
it does in a way test the engine's heat parameters. But other than that, it is a good circuit. There's a lot of long hairpins. There's a lot
No,
of
I was
straights.
thinking especially within like as the cars go through Maggots, Beckett's, and
Yeah,
or like where it's all about that cornering speed, right?
yeah.
So again, I don't know for s- who who we can call favorites. Again, I would say Lewis Hamilton, uh, because this time that Ferrari car has got incredibly good speed on
Credible.
corners.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Like
actually
compared to
true.
all the other cars, again, straight line is only where they suffer, but corners they got it.
Yeah, we got the corners pretty well actually. Even last race, Antonelli in the first few laps did go off track a bit, but I feel like other than that, they're, they're really settling down now, and I think Mercedes is getting comfortable. So I'm excited for the second season. After I think after the vacation,
Hmm.
we might see a lot more action coming in because people are getting started with their um, they've understood the car now. So I guess when you've
Yeah,
understood something and you know the basics of how the car is, then you can do a lot more with the
true
cars
that.
essentially.
Cool. I think that's pretty much it from our end. Thank you so much for tuning on, and we will see you for another episode after the British Grand Prix. Until then, stay tuned and like, yeah, follow us on our socials. That's formula.pod. Goodbye.